am from this little town. I was born in Houston, Texas, but raised in a town about 30 to 45 minutes outside of Houston called Rosenberg, Texas. So at the heart of me, I'm a small little country boy from Rosenberg, Texas, who really is trying to spread love to everybody and joy, because I know that we are all worthy of it, especially in a time when it seems like the world is devoid of it. I think it's my responsibility, and I'm so happy that God has given me the opportunity to share. I for a long time I was doing life coaching, and I still do life coachings with my life coach. And one of the things that she really got me to say, like maybe last year, was like, I am music. And I was like, whoa, that blew my mind. I was like, I guess I am music, not just singularly me in the world, but I am music resides in this being, in this body. When I sit down to play the piano, it's coming from this thought, first from my feeling, my heart space, then the thought, and then it connects to my hands, and I make music with the piano. And then it comes from these two little muscles that are teeny tiny in here. I am music. And I thought, whoa, that's a really cool thing to say. So for somebody who doesn't know me, I'm music. I am knowledge. I am friendship. I am family. I am love. All of those things are part of who I am. I'm a global citizen trying to do well and trying to inspire people to be the best of themselves, because I know that we've all got goodness inside of us. I know it.
Man, that's the most beautiful thing I have ever heard. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm still taking the time to process everything. Wow. Oh wow. I mean, for sure for you, especially being music, like I never really considered the idea of being music.
I haven't either. I mean, when we were talking about, and I know because somebody who would read that might think could mistake that for being conceited or ego, but I don't mean it in that way.
No, it doesn't sound that way at all.
Oh no, look, I get chills when I even say it, because when we had that discovery, it was like, she was like, tell me because I was telling her, I used to tell her when I first started coaching, like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I would tell her all the things that I wasn't. And she's like, what are you? And I was like, well, I love music. She says, no, what are you? Who are you? What are you? I was like, oh, I'm a singer. She said, okay. I play the piano. She said, okay, it sounds like you are music. And I was like, oh, I had never heard that before. And it totally makes sense to me. And when it goes to the I am knowledge part, I am knowledge, and I disperse knowledge. I impart knowledge to other people, to my students, to my audience, to you. It's important to share all those things. So we all are those things. My grandmother, I think maybe she would say she is knowledge. She's a wordsmith. Like things like that. I think people, the more that you take ownership of who you are, no one can take it from you. And I think that that's really important too. Nobody can ever take from me that I am music, because until I die, music will reside somewhere in this body. And just in case I'm not able to produce music later in my life, by the grace of God and all the wonderful nerds out there like me, we have YouTube and Apple Music and everything where they can stream my music. So if I ever lose the ability to sing or play, there are videos that show that I am music.
Technically, you could get away to say that you are history.
Wow. That too. That's interesting that you bring that up, because in my life that's really cool. I haven't thought about that.
I'm glad I could pick that up.
Well, no, I mean, it's actually true. I mean, there are many things that I have done in my life that have been historic, in terms of my career, and things that I have done in the crossover world, and even singing at the Apollo 6 or 7 times. There's no classical artist who's ever done that. No one.
Yeah, no, right there alone.
Yeah.
Just to hear you say that, I'm like, oh, what? Yeah. You've
Yeah.
done how many times?
Yeah, I think
Like,
6 or 7 times. Yeah, pretty sure of it. Yeah.
oh, but it definitely does prove to the idea of you are also making that history happen every moment you get the chance to produce the music that comes out of your soul. And
Mhm.
I'm so excited to continue on with the adventure
Right.
of that. Oh my gosh, the pages are turning and they are writing all about you,
Yes.
especially you just released new music. You have two
Yes.
songs currently out, one that just came out,
Yeah.
Wasted Mind. I'd love to know a little bit more about that song, how that came to be, the inspiration, all that.
Yeah, when I was out in LA, long before I got there for The Voice, I had already started working on this project, this album project. And at the time, my A&R, who is actually now my manager, but back then he was just my A&R. They were my A&R team, and specifically Jake. We were looking for songs that really would speak to me because my first anybody who knows me really well, and one of my best friends is on his team, so he made it really clear to them. He's like, in order for John to sing anything, it has to speak to him. And I was searching for songs that spoke to me because if it speaks to me and it means something to me, it will mean something to you. I don't know what you'll take from it, but it'll mean something to you because it means something to me. And so we were looking through these songs, and I mean, I love Celine Dion. So a lot of her music is, really big power ballads or just ballads in general. And every ballad isn't slow. Some ballads are kind of quick or up tempo. And so I remember that Jake found this song for me, and the writers, I think, are Adam Argyle, Josh London, and Steve McMorrin. And Steve has written for Celine. So having kind of this similar, it was just like they found this song that really, really touched me. And at the moment, I was going through a transition in a previous relationship, had already been going through it, but I couldn't say anything because, I was on TV, so you can't say anything like that. And it's family TV, so you keep it kind of under wraps. But I was going through a transition in a relationship. And the same day I arrived for The Voice, Rio Suma, who was also a contestant on The Voice, was also arriving. And we were both on the same, because of course we arrived in the height of the pandemic. We didn't even know there was going to be a show because things kept on shifting. But we arrived in July. That's how early we had to start filming that season of The Voice because nothing was certain because of the pandemic. But anyway, Rio Suma, and I were on the same transportation van. And then he ended up being my next door neighbor. And I remember calling one of my, like all of my best friends. I have 5 really, really close best friends. Some, 6 really, but 5, super close. And I remember calling every one of them, and I was like, I have just met the next Mr. Holiday. Like, I have met him. He doesn't know it yet, but that's my husband, And so I made it a point to get to know him, not just because of the music, but because of who I really thought, and still, of course, now I still believe who he is to me. So I got to know him, and we heard this song. I heard this song, and I remember running across to his room, even though we weren't supposed to visit each other's rooms because that was one of the rules in the show. But I knocked on his door and was like, you should hear this song because I'm going to record this. I said, because this is about us. And the song is basically saying, it's the quintessential thing that most people would say not to do. When you meet someone, you most often tell them, I don't care what you do, just don't waste my time because my time is precious. My time is valuable and I can do other things with my time. And here, this song is saying, I don't care what you do. Let's take an adventure together. Please waste my time. Don't be afraid. Maybe we're dumb. Maybe we're stupid, but let's find out together. And that's what this song is about. It's about a budding relationship and being vulnerable and open to the possibilities of what can be. And so if you're going to do anything, please waste mine. It's a beautiful song. It's actually probably my favorite song that I've recorded so far.
And it's really sweet too. As you're talking about this, I'm just getting like this, like the little butterflies in my heart, like wanting to like hear the gossip of everyone going, ooh, do you know, did you hear what's going on between those two? I'd love to just be the fly on the wall and you just being there knocking on the door and be like, hey, I gotta tell you something. And then just, oh, I love that. It's so cute.
It was cool because because nobody really knew. We had two really close, well, we had a lot of close friends, but there were very few people who knew that we were interested in each other. But we decided to be very private because it was important. It was, of course, because of the show, and because we, as a public figure, a lot of your life sometimes needs to be private so that you can take the time, so that you can date, so that you can have an adventure, so that everybody's not looking and trying to peek into your business. But then the other side of that, especially as an LGBTQIA person and an African American person, is that there is some little kid out there who is just like me, who's a youngster and doesn't know what love looks like because he hasn't seen it. So it's important for him or for her to say, I see John and Rio. That means that it's out there for me too. So that's why we became really public with it. But everybody was, the ones who did know, they were super supportive and very quiet about it, until we told. Some people were actually really shocked. They were like, oh, we didn't even know you guys were dating. I was like, take a page out of our playbook. Everything is not for, everything's not everybody's business. So, but yeah.
Gosh. So with that being said, because everything had to be kind of locked and key for emotional purposes and for the contest, I'm always like, I've never been through a reality show, dreamt about it all the time. The whole procedure with the reality show and trying to also work on your career at the same time, was there any bit of a struggle between that?
I wouldn't say there was a struggle so much. It was kind of, well, maybe so, maybe that's the word for it. I think before I went, everything was in order. And then once you got to the show, everything had to be paused. So because nothing, you guys don't know it, but anything that you sing on the show technically belongs to the show. I don't own any of it. Like any of the stuff that I recorded while I was on that show is not mine. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to me because it came from me and nobody can sing it like me except for me. But other than having the ownership of it, I don't own it. It's my creative thoughts and my intellectual thoughts, but they own it while I'm on that show. So I was very cautious about what I sang on the show. But before I got to the show, there was I had about 30 or 40 songs that were sent to me and I was paring them down. But as soon as the show started until it finished in December, I could not work on anything at all. I slipped in and out of things. When we had little breaks, I would go and record things on my own just to see what it felt like, but I couldn't technically release anything that I had until after the show.
So you pretty much had everything all like bubbling underneath the surface, ready to erupt. And especially with this new song that's out now, I noticed that, especially those on who are trying to look for this on Spotify, you get like 2 separate links of your name. One goes straight to the voice version, and then one goes straight to yours, which took me for a second because I literally was staring at it going, okay, which one do I click? Obviously not the like, but I'm glad I picked the right one, and that one led me to the brand new song. Gosh. So with that being said, we kind of brushed a little bit around the voice, but I do want to take this moment and be able to like just chat about the journey of you being on The Voice, because holy shit, you got up to you were your 5th place. Still, like, that's so far that you've traveled that far through the journey and through the process. So I'm curious as to know, like, the first when you did the first audition, what were you feeling? What's the like vibe that you were like expecting, and then what did you end up getting as a reality?
No, I think that it was exactly what I thought it would be. The only thing that that was different is that they were further away than what I thought or what I envisioned. But when they turned around, it seemed like it was super clear because you see them and you're like, are they? In my head, I'm like, are they really going to be there? And they are. They really are. And the process was so beautiful. I mean, you know, I had been being asked by one of the casting producers for many, many, many years to do the show, but I was always incredibly busy, so I didn't have the time. And then once the pandemic happened, it created this vacuum of space, you know, and I could either have just stayed at home, which so many other people did, and do virtual concerts, which I did do, or I could go and do this show and just keep it a secret. No one knew what was going on, not a single soul. I was teaching away from, in fact, I taught every single student that I had during the fall of 2020 from my hotel room at in Los Angeles. And when I tell you, they were even shocked, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be on TV." They were like, "That's what you were doing? You were?" I still had my life, but I was teaching them from the hotel and still doing the show. And walking in there to do the audition was incredible. And I think in fact, I don't think I know, my training as an opera singer and having been on so many stages and so many productions is probably the thing that really helped to propel me forward, because while I was nervous, I've learned to channel that nervousness and that anxiety and shift it towards excitement, because that's really the truth. Is like you are nervous, but instead of really being nervous, the truth is you're excited. You just don't know what's going to happen. And you can't control it. And if you could control it and you knew everything, then you'd be God. So that's not exciting. You don't want to know everything. There should be some things that are left to, you know, to the imagination and left to chance. But if you are prepared and you're ready to go, and you do the best that you can, even if you don't make it, you should be proud, which is what I would tell all my friends who did try out and they didn't get chair turns. We were all so supportive of each other. But going in there and doing that audition was just like walking on air. It was just like, I've never walked on air, so you can imagine. It was just like, here you are walking on air, like, okay, that's already a crazy experience. And then they turn around for you and it's John Legend and Gwen and Blake's there and Kelly Clarkson's there, and you're like, oh crap, like this is legit, you know, that they're really there. So then having their support and their encouragement throughout the entire process was really beautiful. I would not take any of that back. I had the time of my life and I would do it again. It was just a wonderful experience for me. And one of the reasons why I decided to do it too was because I've recently been practicing regret minimization. And I thought down the line, if the whole idea of that is to think down the line, think 20, 30 years down the line. When I'm 70 or 80 or 90 years old, God, I hope I make it that long. If I'm there, will I regret at 90 years old not having tried to do this show? At 90 years old, would I go, I wish I had done that show just to see what it was like? And the answer was, I probably would have. And so because I would have regretted it if I hadn't done it at 90, I decided to do it at 35. I said yes.
Yeah.
So that's really why I did it. That's the only reason.
Man.
And connect with people. I mean, but the main reason was like, will I regret having not done this? I will regret it. I will hate myself at 90 if I hadn't done this thing at 35. Yeah, that's really it.
I'm glad that you didn't regret this, and I'm glad you made it this far. And you worked with John Legend. You were on John Legend's team. How was the experience of being coached by him?
He was an incredible coach. He's an incredible person. I learned so many life lessons from John that it was beautiful to see from someone on his level. One of the chief things that I learned from him, and I really do mean this, so, is that whenever Chrissy called him, no matter what was happening, he immediately answered the phone. There was no, I wonder what she wants. He was going to find out. Pick up the phone, even while we're filming. Hello, yes, and figured out. And sometimes it would be the kids, but most times it was her. And actually, most times it was the kids calling to see what daddy's doing. And then I remember asking him, you know, like, what is it? He said, because even if none of this exists tomorrow, this exists, this family exists, and that's what's important to me. I'm doing it for them. And if I don't have them, what's the point? And that was one of the things I really took from him, is like, no matter what's going on, if Rio calls me, and my friends have seen it, I can be in conversation, I pick up my phone. If my mom's calling me, even if if I'm teaching, my students get mad at me, I pick up my phone. and say, I'm teaching right now. Can I call you back? Is it really important? Is something wrong? Okay, I'll call you back. But I pick up the phone for the people who matter to me, because that's important. You only get one life. And the truth is, there's a sign that says you only live once. Well, I would say you only die once. You live every day. And each day is a choice for you to get up and decide how you want to live that day. How can you orchestrate that day? If I walk out this door right now, I can close that door, and just outside of the door, something can fall on me and I could maybe not be here tomorrow or seriously injured. So I have to cherish each moment, every moment that I have, even with you. While I'm with you, I'm so present and so dialed into you. So it's important to know and do all that. And it was good to see that in John.
Yeah. Wow. And it's definitely something that I'm going to remember way past this interview, and all thanks to you, technically. Wow. With that being said, I want to also like take this moment to have a little present moment of I have actually one of the YouTube videos up from your audition, and I just want to just let you hear the reviews of fans that have been praising about you. Oh my gosh, I'm just reading these, and it's been such a fantastic experience to hear, and I just want you to share in the moment.
Okay.
Something I don't do normally, but I saw it. I was like, oh, I gotta mention these comments. These are beautiful. Like, this guy here on his name is Stefan. He's like, I stopped everything I was doing. This was amazing. This will be on repeat for a while. Like, he even replied back later on, and he's like, yeah, I'm still listening to this.
Aww.
And you got like people over here that it's like, you probably know, was it, this wasn't an audition. This was purely a performance. It was effortless.
Oh, wow.
Like, these are just, it's so much fun, like just reading all these. I've not seen not one bad comment. The only bad comment was that they really need to keep you on for one more round. It's like the one thing I saw. They're like, you should have gone on for one more round, at least one more. I want one more chance. And you, luckily, that person will get the chance to be able to see you, because you have this new songs. You have a bunch coming up, and then on top of it, you're engaged. Like, and it's too
top of the world. I'm on top of the world. Yeah, it feels like that. And so, and I know, I have to say, this is going to be shocking to a lot of people. I have not seen any of those videos that I sang from The Voice. I just did them and I let go. That's kind of how I operate my life and everything I do. I do the assignment, I do the work and the joy, and then I let go. If I do watch it, I watch it one time and I let it go, and I let God take it to whoever he or she wants to take it to, because they need it. I know that they do, because I need to look at certain things. I look at Celine Dion videos all day and the Clark Sisters videos. So it means a lot to me. So if anybody gets to hear this or they read it, I want to say thank you to everybody that watched me on the show and that supported me and that chose to send beautiful and inspiring words to me. That means more to me than they will ever know. And I hope that they stay along on the ride. I'm on top of the world because of their love and support and encouragement. And I hope along the way that they stay along with me. That means a lot to me.
I believe that they certainly will.
Yeah.
And gosh, I'm just so excited just to be chatting with you and being here at this moment. I do want to put on to some more slightly more fun questions.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. These are like my fun little conversation cards I do towards the end of the interview. Let's see. What's the best compliment a stranger has ever given you?
Best compliment a stranger has ever given me. Oh, wow. I just had this was I was not dating anybody at this point. Oh, this is funny. I remember nothing, I think it was just me walking across the street in New York and a guy, because I don't always think that I'm beautiful. I've had issues myself in my past, like thinking that I was handsome. But this guy like walked down, he was in his car. In fact, no, this was Los Angeles. This was in 2014, 14 or 15 maybe. And a guy rolled down his window and was like, "You are really beautiful." And I was just like, thank you. Thank you very, because that was it was beautiful, but also like, I got a compliment about being handsome today. So that's the most beautiful compliment, I think, for me, because I needed it in the moment, probably. Other than my glasses being cool. Yeah.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? You are like the most handsome guy I've ever had a conversation with. So, with that being said, what's been the happiest memory this past year?
I know immediately it's going to be about Rio. So
yeah, I was gonna be like, ooh, I know which. I should have said that.
It's going to be it's Rio, and around this time is the time that he was off of the show, and we had a small break in our filming, so I was able to go home for a little bit, and during that time I went home. I finally, because we didn't really have time to connect personally while we were on the show, so I went to go and fly to see him in Detroit, and he came to Houston and saw me there, and so definitely thinking about every moment that I spent with Rio is an amazing memory.
I love Fresh Romance. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's so cute.
It's super cute, and then now you're freshly engaged, so it's just even happier. It's gosh,
totally.
I want to So with that being said, with the engagement, you're still in that fantastic. You're not even pre-honeymoon. Well, you're probably still in pre-honeymoon phase.
Well, you have the honeymoon phase, but then it can continue, and usually does. But the good thing about relationships is that you have expectations and boundaries, and you meet and you talk about those things. And there literally is let's have a sit down and let's talk about what those are. You're just an adult and you have conversations, and those conversations are really important and crucial. So we have those conversations, and we have them whenever we need to, because I think that what happens most times is that we forget that when you get into relationships, that both people are evolving, so things are changing as you go on in the relationship. So as evolution occurs, we have the conversation, and those expectations and boundaries change. So it's been beautiful. Every day is beautiful. Every day is good.
Yeah, well, with that comment, I'm curious, because the next card I have is describe your perfect day.
A perfect day. I wish that I could still sleep really late in the afternoon. I can't. I usually get up really, really, really early in the morning because I'm also a university professor. But lying in bed, and Rio will bring me breakfast in bed, and then we watch TV, or he comes back and goes back to sleep. But just watching TV, finding the news of the day, and having a few cocktails at happy hour with us, just us. He doesn't drink at all, but I do. Having maybe a vodka tonic, a Grey Goose tonic with Fever Tree, a little lime, and I like literally right now I'm actually thinking of him making tacos, so I can make it, and that's it is actually, can you imagine, it's a really simple dish, but I'm gonna text him and ask him, can he make me a taco? Because I literally am thinking about his tacos.
Honestly, I won't make tacos myself, and I just have a random HelloFresh coming that I need to make.
Just thinking that having tacos and sitting outside at the fire pit, just us. I think he's in the kitchen. I don't know. I hear something, but anyway, he just got my text. So, anyway.
We'll find out about the tacos later.
No, he knows. I love his tacos. That's so cool. He would not know that probably. Now he will know. So that's the perfect day.
Yes.
No singing, just relaxing, watching movies.
Sounds fantastic. I really like that. Yeah. And I hope you do get tacos today.
I will get them. I hear music there. Yeah.
Here, I'll do one more question before we kind of wrap it all up. If you were to press shuffle on your music library, what would be the first song that would pop up?
If I were to press shuffle on my music library, what would be the first song that came up? Right now, Waste Mine would probably be the first one that came up. And then after that, there's Ooh La by John Legend, which I love. And then Favorite Place is the next one, because that's Rio's favorite. So, and then Celine Dion's, what song of hers? You Love Me Back to Life. That's another one. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's like ages.
I gave you 4, so there you go.
Oh, wow. Plenty for everyone to be able to put onto their playlist
Yes.
alongside your new song.
And then Jadena's Classic Man.
Yes. All right. We'll make sure we add that one onto that playlist too. Yeah. With that being said, where can we be able to find you?
You can on all my social media. All my social media is at John Holiday Live. You can find me on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, iTunes Music, Yahoo Music, all the streaming platforms. And if you ever want to keep up with me, if you follow me on my social media, all my social media is really up to date, and I am super current with things. And if you can't seem to find it there, just look at johnholiday.com and you'll find whatever you need.
All right. Well, thank you so much, John, for taking the time out of your day. I hope you get those tacos, and I hope they're amazing.
I got to do a COVID test because that's what we live in these times now as professors. We have to do COVID testing every week. I'm totally fine. It's just a routine testing.
Oh, no, I understand.
Testing, and then I'm going to get my tacos.
Yes. Go enjoy your tacos. Get tested. Wow, that's a great PSA. Get tested, get tacos.
Get testing. Get tacos for testing. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Ooh, I love that.
Yes. All right. I'll see you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Here.
Stop